It's November 19th, 2024, 8:48 a.m. I want to talk about death. It's a weird thing, honestly. Death makes you feel all sorts of things. When someone you love passes away, you feel sad, angry, hurt, depressed, afraid, empty. You feel so many things because of one simple event, and it's hard to make sense of it all. A couple days ago, I lost one of my best friends. He was over 80 and he had pneumonia, and it was just too much for him. I didn't know that it would hit as hard as it did. I knew it was coming. I knew he was talking about it for days, weeks, saying he was tired, just can't do it anymore. And I think this was his way of saying that it was time. I think he knew that it was coming too. I think he knew that the end was near because he kept saying that I can't do this, I can't handle this, I can't. My friendship with this man wasn't always a friendship. I know he meant well back in the beginning when things were rough and he seemed angry all the time and upset. He was grumpy, as a lot of people would say. But he had been through a lot in his life. And so he was tired. He had earned it well. He had done so much in his life that he just reached the end of it. I didn't think it would hit as hard as it did. Roughly 12 years ago, within the span of 5 weeks, I lost my grandfather and then my father. And that was hard. To lose two of the most important people in my life, I don't think I'm over it yet. And then, a few years ago, my brother-in-law passed away. And that was hard too. That was one of my best friends as well. Even now it's hard to just to think about that they're gone. I don't know what exactly I'm feeling. I'm sad, obviously. But to have all these strong role models in my life just be gone. My father and my grandfather obviously were an amazing pair of role models growing up. My grandfather was a minister, and he preached the Word of God according to the Bible. And for a time I went along with it, and I followed the religion, but after a while I walked away. But he was still cared, he still loved, he still was an amazing grandfather. My dad, it was his way or the highway kind of thing, and if I didn't do what he said, then I learned about it the hard way sometimes. I think that also prepared me, or at least tried to prepare me, for the hardships of life, knowing that there will be struggle. A lot of times there are going to be people who are upset with you no matter what you do. But I know that he loved me. He was just showing it in the way that he knew how. In the end, it worked out. From those two people alone, my grandfather and my father, I learned so much about myself and about life and what to expect and how to grow. And they were fantastic people, and I'll miss them dearly. I still do. My brother-in-law was pretty much the definition of a free spirit, doing a lot of things that he wanted to do and when he wanted to do them, not caring about the repercussions, just taking joy in everything he did because it was what he wanted to do. And I think that helped me a lot to step outside of myself and to do things because I want to do them. I still struggle with that sometimes, with seeing how my brother-in-law handled life and just lived it in the moment and just did things at a whim, and seeing that is something that I can use to help better myself, to be able to step outside of comfort zones, try new things and not be afraid, just do them, and who cares if you screw up? And it's going to be scary, but you do it scared. And now to lose one of my best friends recently, it makes me stop and realize that life is short. And there's only so much you can do. I know that he may not have lived the life he wanted to live. I know that he had a lot of ordeals in his life that affected him in ways that no one will understand. Looking at that example and realizing that even though life can suck sometimes, life can be hard, life can be a struggle, knowing how hard it can be, it really allows for a sense of perspective. Realizing that life is going to be hard, and there's going to be struggle, and there's going to be challenge. But that's not all life is. There is so much in life that we overlook because we see one small problem and that holds us up. We see one small issue and it just ruins our day and it ruins our life. So sure, your toast for breakfast might have burnt. So sure, your car may have a flat tire. Sure, you lost your job. Sure, whatever the case may be. Sure, all these things happen. But they're just little blips in the wave of everything else. There is so much more in life to look at and to be focused on and to be grateful for and to be happy about. And there's so much more to discover as well along the way. And you might get tired, and it might wear you down, and it might be a struggle, but there's so much more that you need to focus on. There's so much more good involved in life that can easily overpower the brief moments of darkness and sadness. I'm a man who likes to think a lot of things. I'm a man who likes to believe a lot of things. And I believe that even though people leave us and pass away, I believe they're still here with us in spirit. And I know that despite all the hardship, all the pain and the suffering that we're going through because they're gone physically, is just one way of looking at it. Knowing that they're still with us, knowing that they're still able to hear, and we can hear from them and be part of their life once more, and they can be part of ours, is something that is so heartwarming, so uplifting, and it brings a lot of peace with it too. And so even though you're gone, Dad, Grandpa, brother-in-law, best friend, even though you're not here physically, I know you're still with us no matter what. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for being in my life for the time that you were. Thank you for making the impacts that you have made. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the hard times as well as the good times. Thank you. It's great to know that I'm not alone. It's good to know that they're still here. It's good to know that they're still with me and listening, and it's good to know. One day my time will come, and I'll leave too. But I'll still be here in one way or another. I'll still go on being here for those who need me here. And that's something that really motivates. Yeah, it motivates me to be the best me that I can be, to show others how to live their life, to teach the lessons that need to be taught, to show that you can do and be anything. Just have to try. And to know that it's going to be rough and tough sometimes. But you can do it. It's all part of the process. It's all part of living. It's all part of being a human. It's all necessary. And it's all exactly how it has to be. And so while you may have harsh lessons, while you may have things you don't agree with, and while you may want to do everything and anything, and while it may get hard, and while it may get difficult, and you may struggle and want to give up, it all happens for a reason. And the joy of life is to understand the reason, is to figure out what it is and live it. Despite the hardships, despite the downfalls, despite anything that happens in life, know that you're here for the experience. It's going to be difficult at times, but the difficult times are definitely outweighed by all the amazing times, all the great things, all the fantastic, even the little things, beautiful sunset, or watching the geese migrate, listening to the wind blow in the trees. There is so much to be happy about and so much to be grateful for. And if you take the time and you listen and you observe, you'll begin to see that everything you once thought was gone is still right there with you. Everyone you may have lost along the way is still right there with you. Thank you so much for taking part in this content. If you enjoy what you saw and or heard, feel free to interact with whatever platform you're listening or watching this on in the appropriate ways by liking or favoriting whatever it may need to be. And if you want to follow along and hear more of these or see more of these, feel free to interact as well in the way that's necessary by favoriting, following, subscribing, whatever it may be. Life is short. Try not to get bogged down in all the little problems that crop up. Become immersed in all the good that definitely outweighs all the bad. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all. Ciao for now.